Neil. I'm Haley. Nice to meet you.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. So excited to talk with you. Obviously, pumped about You to Love, and now we got a remix.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Time to be alive. So what can you tell me, Neil? Do we have a new album coming? What's in the works from you?
Okay, yes. I've been working on this album for almost 2 years now, maybe a little longer. First piece of the working on it was me trying to figure out just where I fit right now. You know, I'm somewhat seasoned in this thing. The sound has changed a little bit. The look has changed a little bit. So like, where does Neil fit now? So once I got that out of my brain, it's like, listen, music is music, and the music I do is timeless, and I'm gonna be all right. Once I got to that place, and I got a body of work that I really was proud of, bang, COVID comes, bang, quarantine. So now I'm sitting with these records for like 6 months, and I started just picking stuff apart. Like, okay, the hi-hat is too loud on this one. Let's get this one out of there. I've heard this one too much. Let's get this one out of there. And I was doing that for a really long time, to where my friends and the people I work with will finally like, listen, stop messing with stuff. It's done. Leave it alone. It's done. Okay, all right, it's done. So the album is finally finished. It will be coming very, very soon. We'll probably drop 1 or 2 more singles beforehand, but the album is done and it is on the way. I do not have a name for it yet. Still kind of bouncing around trying to figure out what the name is going to be. It might just be self-titled. I don't know. But it's coming. It is definitely en route. Yes.
Well, you know, we're excited for that. And in addition to putting that together, what have you been up to during quarantine? How are you staying busy?
Man, keeping my kids entertained is a full-time job. I will definitely say that. I will say that teachers do not get paid nearly enough money as they should. They need to get more money. They really do. They really do. I'm watching. So I did it kind of smart. Okay. I went to the school that my kids were going to, and went and hollered at their favorite teacher, like, "Hey, what are you getting paid over here?" "Oh, I'm getting AB." "Okay, well, I'll give you ABC if you come work for me." And she came. Cool. So she shows up every day, sits with them, and does what she does. You know, mind you, I have 4 children. I have two that are older, 2 that are younger. So it's 2 different teachers. But as I'm sitting watching her deal with just the younger 2, I'm imagining like, oh my God, at one point you had like almost 20 kids in a class. How are you not insane? How did you manage to stay sane through that? Like you're a different breed. You have to be a different kind of person. You have to have a different kind of center to be able to do that. So much respect to Miss Cherie, who currently works for us and is teaching my kids. But mind you, okay, so after school is over, I don't really want them to go outside. I don't really want them to move around, outdoors too much. So now we have to find things to do indoors so that they don't destroy the house, so that they're not writing on the walls and accidentally on purpose storing things at windows that will break.
Right.
So it's been a lot of, I draw and I paint, so I'm trying to like introduce them into that. That was a mistake because now there's paint on the carpet that's not coming up. That's not coming up. We just got to rip that carpet up. That was my bad. But yeah, I'm doing everything in my power to keep them as entertained as humanly possible so that I have somewhere to live still. That's what it is.
Well, bless your heart, Neil. And I think a lot of parents are starting to find that appreciation for teachers as well, because this is just insane. And with your kids, your parents were musicians. Is that kind of where you got that from?
Yeah, my dad plays a couple different instruments. My mom can sing her head off. Yeah, my sister, pretty much everybody in my family does something musical, be it from an instrument to singing to rapping or producing, whatever the case may be. Pretty much everybody, like even to the point where I knew that I wanted my kids to have a love and appreciation for music, and I felt like I was going to have to push them in that direction. No. It's 100% embedded in them. They have a song for everything. There's the I don't want to go to bed song. There's the it's time to eat song. There's the hey dad, Roro pooped his diaper song. That's one of my favorites. That's in heavy rotation here. Heavy rotation. Roro is my youngest. He's 2, and he's rebelling against this potty training thing. He likes his diapers. He likes the freedom. He likes that. So, but yeah, they're super musically inclined, and I guess it just runs in the family. Yeah, it's just kind of been music was like my 3rd sibling growing up. It was me, my sister, and the music that was literally constantly playing all day, all night through the house. My mom would watch TV with the radio on. Like it was kind of that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I think after the next album that you release, maybe we'll get a kids album from your kids, because those songs sound great and I need a whole album of them.
They are constantly asking to come to the studio with me. And to be honest, if not for COVID, I would probably take them, because they definitely got it. Like, and I'm not just saying this because these are my kids. You know, everybody feels like their kids are super talented or super smart. Like, mine actually are. Like, they really, really are. And yeah. So I think that I think I might have to figure out like a little home studio or something, so that they can, you know, just really explore that all the way out as much as they'd like to.
Absolutely. Well, obviously, you're very multi-talented. You've written probably hundreds of songs for yourself and for other people. Do you even know the number of how many songs you've written at this point?
No,
it's infinite, Neo.
That is a losing battle. I have no idea. No clue. It's been a lot.
A top 3 of maybe the songs you're most proud of that you've written, whether for yourself or somebody else?
Top 3. Okay. So Beyonce's Irreplaceable. That's one of my favorites, because I learned a very valuable lesson through that song. I learned that every lyric is not for every person. Every lyric is not for everybody. I originally wrote that song for myself, and then realized that a man singing that song probably wasn't going to come off as poignant as a woman singing that song. Mm-hmm. You know, a man singing that song, it feels misogynistic and mean. A woman singing that song, it feels empowering. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, all right. I learned something through that. Yeah. Not to mention Beyonce just took it and turned it into a complete monster. Like, shout out to Beyonce forever. Let me see. So that's one. Mm-hmm. There's a song that I did on I think it was my third album. Mm-hmm. It's called Maddie's Song.
Okay. You froze on me, Neo. Neo, are you there?
Frozen. You still there? I froze. Uh-oh. Hello?
Oh, we're good. We're back. We're back.
Good? Sorry. Okay. So this Maddie's Song. Mm-hmm. When my daughter was born, when we brought her home, she was a cry machine. It's just, no matter what we did, she just would not, like, we thought it was colic. We didn't know what it was. She just would not stop crying. So I remember hearing a pediatrician say that music sometimes helps. So I'm like, okay, well, this is perfect. So I picked up my phone and I just kind of pushed random. And I mean, it wasn't meant for what it was. But the second it turned on, silence, complete silence.
Oh, that's
and
so
I was like,
sweet.
oh, yes. And then the song turned off, and she turned back up. So for about 3 years of her life, when she first got here, that was her song. That was Maddie's song. So, and the name of the song is Along With You. Mm-hmm. And it makes, like, if you listen to it, it has kind of a Beatles type feel to it. Yep. It's her favorite song for me, and I'm super duper proud of that one, because that was like our bonding song. It's like, you know, you and mommy get bonding through feeding and the whole nine. You and daddy get bonding through this song. You know, like I'd rock her to sleep as the song played. Aww. So yeah, Maddie's Song, Irreplaceable, and probably So Sick. Yeah, and that So Sick was like the one that started it all. You know what I mean? Like that song will always hold a very special place in my heart, because that was the one that introduced me to the world and the world to me, so to speak. So yeah.
Great choices. I'll have to listen to Maddie's Song. I don't think I've heard that one yet, but obviously So Sick, Irreplaceable, just iconic. And in addition to music, you're a busy man. You've been judging on World of Dance for 4 seasons now. What keeps you coming back, Neo? Why do you love being a judge on that show?
Oh man, I would be the janitor on that show. Okay. I love the people. I love the people that I work with. I love the show itself, because it's one of those places where you walk in and you're walking through the halls and you just know everybody's there because they want to be. You know what I mean? It's not oh man, I got to go to work today. It's yes, I get to go to work today. You know, it's one of those. You know, Derek Huff is my incredibly annoying and dorky little brother that I never had. You know, and then J-Lo is everybody's mom. You get a few different J-Los. You'll get Jennifer you get Jennifer Lopez, you'll get J-Lo, and then you get Jenny from the block, depending on what you did to pull out which one. You know what I mean? So yeah.
And we love
you normally don't want to talk to Jenny from the block. That's when that's when the Bronx comes out, and you might cry. She might make you cry.
You're in trouble.
Yeah, yeah, you might be in trouble.
Awesome. That's so great.
But I love it, man. And then on top of, and then not to mention some of the most amazing dancers to ever dance. Period. It's like, what's not to love about that show? I don't know what we're doing for season 5, but I'm almost definite that there will be a season 5. It would kind of be silly of NBC to not give us a season 5. It would be a little silly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. One thing I really love to see that you've been doing is you've been really great at encouraging your fans to vote in this election, doing all sorts of different things for that. So at this point, we're just days away, obviously, from the election. What would you tell somebody who might still be unsure if they're going to vote that day?
I mean, the most cut and dry way to put it is you cannot complain about what's wrong if you're not willing to use the power that you've been given to change what's wrong. That's pretty much what it is. It's like, I was like, oh, I hate the food here, but yet you keep eating at that restaurant. Like, you can leave. You have the power to change it. It's on you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think that the part that's not stressed enough is educating yourself on who you're voting for. Like, it's one thing to go to the polls and vote, and everybody's talking Trump, Biden, Trump, Biden, Trump, Biden. But that's one category on the poll. Like, there's a bunch of different things and policies to vote on. And if you don't know any of these, you might mess around and vote somebody in that's even worse than who's already there. You know, so I feel like that needs to be stressed more. It's not just about getting to the polls. It's not just about the vote. It's about making sure that your vote counts by voting for the right person, voting for the person whose policies and ideas and thoughts line up with yours, so that you can see the change that you want. Now, if you don't vote at all, then you're basically putting yourself at the mercy of whoever winds up in that seat. And we've all seen how that can go left. We've seen it. We've suffered through it for the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying, one man's opinion. But yes, I do not think that you can complain about what's wrong if you're not willing to do anything about it. And you have the power to do something about it. Like, people died for a lot of us to have the right to do something about it. You know, so but with that being said, stop being stupid. Get out and vote. As simple as that.
Facts. That's all you need to say. That's it. Just stop being stupid. And the numbers are already looking really, really great. Just absentee ballots coming in compared to years in the past. So that's exciting to see. And I know you're going to be involved in the shop talk that Biden and Harris are doing. Is that tonight for you? I'm
not sure.
I'm so like, is that tonight? Neo's having a busy day.
I might need to get on the phone with my assistant after this and see if that's tonight. I think so. I'm excited about it, though. I'm definitely excited about it because it's an opportunity for us to really sit down and go over, the important parts of this thing. Like, it's been a lot of mudslinging. You know what I mean? You watch the debates and it's like, well, you're ugly. Well, you're ugly. It's like, wait a minute. We're talking about childcare, guys. What's all of this? I like, this allows us to go, all right, here's the problem, bang, and what are you going to do about it, bang. We don't want to hear about the other guy. We don't want to hear about. I want you to answer the question I just asked you. Don't do the politician dance around, tap dance. I don't want that. I need the answer to this question, and this allows us to do that. So I'm actually really, really happy to be a part of this, and I hope that some good comes from it. I really and truly do. I feel like it will. I feel like it will too. It's a great idea, and I love that they're doing that. So I got a few fan questions for you, Neo, if you don't mind. Shoot. Let's do it.
The first one is from Chadillac44. He wants to know, what is your favorite R&B song of all time? That's a loaded question.
Ooh, that is really a loaded question. Man, just one song.
You can pick a few if you need to.
Because I could never choose just one. I have too many. So there are 5 artists who I've kind of fashioned Neo around. It's like, if I could take these 5 people and meld them into one person, this is who I always aspired Neo to be. So you have Prince, Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, Sammy Davis Jr., Marvin Gaye. Now, I can name at least 3 songs from each of these artists and call them my favorite song. Yeah. So I don't know how much time you got, but there's quite a few that fit in that favorite song category. But I'll put one that kind of sits at the top of all this is Michael Jackson's "Lady in My Life." I learned how to control my voice through that song. I learned how to sing through listening to Michael Jackson and Stevie Wonder. My mom put them on and said, listen to the way they use their instrument and they'll help you get more comfortable with yours. Because when I first started singing, I hated my voice because I didn't sound like what my mom used to listen to. She used to listen to like the OJs and the Temptations and like these heavier, kind of thick and husky voices. And as a kid, I didn't have that. I had like a really high pitched nasally type of thing going. And she was like, all right, well, listen to this, listen to that, listen to this artist, check out how he does this. And I literally learned how to sing by mimicking Michael Jackson. So that was like my go-to song. Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice. What a great story to go with that. Your next question here is from T Sweezy. He wants to know which song was harder to write, Let Me Love You by Mario or Let Me Love You by You?
Oh, man. Well, I can honestly say neither one was very difficult to write because both of those songs those are two songs of the very few that fit in the co-write category for me. I didn't write those songs by myself. I wrote those songs with another writer that helped carry half the load on that. My Let Me Love You was partially written by Sia. You know, I'm sure you're familiar with Sia. Yeah. So the hook, the line that everybody latches onto, let me love you and I will love you until you learn to love yourself. I didn't write that line. Sia wrote that line.
Oh. And
when I heard that, I was like, oh my God, I got to do something at least as good as that on my part. So I wrote the verses of na 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 na. That's me. And then when you get to the hook, let me love you, that's Sia. She did that part. So yeah, I learned the power of collaboration actually through those two songs. Because I've never really been really big on collaboration for any reason, for no other reason than I never felt like anybody's going to give me better than me.
Right.
Just kind of makes sense, right? But at the same time, I do what I do. I pull from this well, but there's literally a trillion other wells. So why would I not take advantage of somebody coming with an idea that I wouldn't have come up with, a melody I wouldn't have come up with, a thought I wouldn't have thought, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's how those two songs came to be. Mm-hmm.
That's so interesting, and now that you say that, I can hear Sia singing that part. Like it
Can't
sounds
you?
weird, Sia, when you think about it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you can totally think. Yeah.
I would sing with you, but nobody wants that, Neo. My final question for you, here. Oh, Neo, you froze on me again.
Oh no, we froze again.
Oh, we're back. We're back.
Yeah.
My final question for you.
My sons are on the Wi-Fi and they're screwing it up. Sorry.
Oh, it's all good. Ain't no thing. So here in the state of Maine, by the way, have you ever been here before to Maine?
I don't think so. I don't think so. It's
on
my to-do list. It is on my to-do list.
That. So we are the only hip hop R&B station in the entire state, which is kind of insane. But that's a story for a different day. So we would love to have you here one day. But the moral of my story is here in Maine, our state motto is the way life should be. So I would like to know, according to Neo, what is the way life should be?
The way life should be. Everybody should be painfully and brutally honest at all times. At all times. You know, I feel like we as a people would be stronger, would have thicker skin if we weren't so accustomed to people sugarcoating things and putting on the kid gloves as to not hurt feelings. And like, it's like when you, I just hate that. I hate the fact that if I'm talking to you about something, I have to almost kind of censor myself and work around what it is I'm really trying to say so that I don't offend you. When it's like, I'm not coming from a place of I'm not trying to offend you. I'm not trying to insult you. I'm simply trying to get my point across and ask this question or make this statement, you know. So in that I'm not trying to do it, in that I'm not coming from that place, don't take it like that. You know what I mean? Like if I say something that's offensive to you, you shouldn't get offended because you know that I'm not attempting to offend you. It's just maybe you're misunderstanding the way I'm saying it or whatever the case may be. But I feel like if we lived in a world where everybody had no choice but to be brutally and painfully honest at all times, you know how strong we would be?
Yes. And so
you know how much more we could take if we were accustomed to taking it, you know what I mean? Yes. So that's how life should be according to Neo. Brutally, painfully honest at all times.
Absolutely. That would make life even easier, I think.
It really would. It really and truly would.
Amazing.
You know, you wouldn't get stuck in a bad relationship for 3 years because nobody was brave enough to say what they really felt like. It's like, hey, listen, I don't think I love you anymore. Okay, well, cool. I don't think I love you anymore either. Oh, God. Glad we got that off our shoulders. All right, let's hug it out. It was fun. Bye. You know, and then they
yeah. No,
I go
but
off on a tangent sometimes.
No, you're fine. And I mean, you couldn't be more right. I don't really try to live my life this way, but a lot of people do things, like you said, just because they feel like that's what they're supposed to do, or they don't want to hurt feelings or make people upset.
You got to be politically correct and all of that. And it's like, listen, I'm not this maybe. So don't take it like that. Don't look at it as if I'm trying to be foul, because that's not what it is. You know, I just feel like people are so soft nowadays. It's like people get offended so easy nowadays. And it's like, when did we become so weak? I don't get it. I don't know. One man's opinion.
No, I agree. I don't know if it's something that came with like social media and it's just easier to talk to people now in a different way. I agree though. It's a soft time to be alive, Neo. Absolutely.
Yeah, a little bit.
I love your outlook on that, and we cannot wait for the album whenever it comes. It's gonna be amazing.
I mean, very, very soon. Very, very. If not, December release, be looking for it at the top of 2021. It'll be one of the positive things to happen in 2021. Definitely so.
Yes, we needed something to look forward to, and that's it, Neo. Thank you so much for talking with me today, and best of luck at the shop talk whenever that happens. Figure that out.
Yes. Yeah. Let me get on. Let me make sure I'm not late for something right now. Thank you so much, Mama. Appreciate you.
Take care, Neo.